Welcome to the Stoic Way. In the world of human connection, words have immense power. Did you know that certain phrases can bypass defenses, spark curiosity, and leave a lasting impression on anyone, even those already spoken for? Backed by psychology, these carefully chosen phrases can captivate attention, evoke emotion, and create deeper bonds. In this article, we delve into three compelling phrases that hold universal appeal, shedding light on why they resonate so strongly with women, regardless of their relationship status. Prepare to uncover the subtle art of irresistible conversation. Number one, triggering emotional responses. Once you see it, there's no unseeing it. In fact, this approach aligns with something much older, something that has stood the test of time. Stoicism, the Stoics believed in mastering your emotions and keeping your inner world steady no matter what chaos surrounds you. And guess what? That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's about learning how to control your feelings, keeping your composure, and making decisions from a place of strength. It's not about reacting to everything, but choosing your moves carefully and strategically. When you live by these principles, you're not just playing the game, you're mastering it. Are you with me? Because this is just the beginning before we dive in. Take a moment to subscribe. If you're ready to transform how you handle relationships using the power of Stoicism, every video is a step toward mastering your mindset and building stronger, more meaningful connections. All right, let's dive in one triggering emotional responses. Let me break it down for you in a way that's easy to get if you want to influence a woman's mind. Forget about logic, seriously. Throw it out the window. Facts, reason, or well thought out arguments, they're not going to get you anywhere. Why? Because women don't process logic the same way men do. What actually drives them are emotions. And if you want to take charge, that's what you need to focus on. Think about it. Have you ever tried to explain yourself during an argument, laying out everything in a clear, rational way, only for her to still not get it? That's because it's not about what makes sense, it's about what she feels. Women are wired to respond to emotions, not logic. And here's the kicker, they've probably been using this against you without you even realizing it. They'll act upset, play the guilt card, or pretend to be hurt to shift the power in their favor. Ever found yourself confused after an argument, wondering how it escalated so quickly, or why you feel like the bad guy? That's emotional control at work. But don't worry, it's not your fault. It's how the game is played. The good news, you can flip the script. The key is to trigger her emotions. First, keep her guessing, keep her on edge, and watch how the dynamic changes. Here's the truth, logic doesn't create attraction, but unpredictability does when you make her feel. Whether it's excitement, happiness, jealousy, or even a little fear, here you hold the reins. Emotions are addictive, and if you can create those highs and lows, she'll start tooting them with you. That's how you stay on her mind. Here's a pro tip. Learn to create emotional spikes. This means mixing things up, give her attention and make her feel special. One moment, then pull back and act distant. The next, that push and pull. Dynamic keeps her off balance, always seeking your validation. She'll stay emotionally hooked because she'll never know what's coming next. It's that unpredictability that keeps her invested, always wanting more, ready to see the difference. It's time to start playing smarter. Let me hit you with some truth. Most people are too. Number two, use her fears scared. To say out loud, women have their own agenda in relationships. They want to stay in control by keeping you emotionally tied up. But here's the deal. If you can figure out how to play with her emotions before she starts messing with yours, you've already won. Forget trying to reason your way through it. Emotions are the battleground, and if you learn to dominate there, you'll never lose. Now, let me weave in something deeper here, the Stoic mindset. The Stoics understood that our emotions can be our greatest strength or our biggest weakness. They taught us to stay in control of our inner world, no matter what happens outside of us. So while women might be playing the emotional game, you're not going to lose yourself in the chaos. You're going to stay calm, composed, and strategic, just like a Stoic would imagine it. Just like the Stoics, you don't let the emotional storms around you throw you off. Of course, you recognize emotions for what they are, temporary waves, and choose how you respond. You're control of your own feelings, which means you can better influence the situation without getting caught up in it. You learn to respond, not react. That's what gives you the power. And when you combine that level of control with the ability to create emotional spikes, now you're playing a whole different game, one where you're always a step ahead. Now let's go even deeper. If you want to truly stay in control, You need to understand and use her fears. Yeah, it sounds harsh, but the reality is, this fear is one of the most powerful motivators. And guess what? Women have fears, just like everyone else. Fear of being abandoned, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. These aren't just random insecurities, they're real vulnerabilities. And when you know how to tap into them, you gain the upper hand. Most people avoid talking about this because it feels too intense or dark, but we're not here to sugarcoat things. You either control the situation or you let it control you. The choice is yours. Here's how it works. Women's fears run deeper than they let on once you figure out what she's afraid of. You can use that knowledge to keep her emotionally and mentally hooked. Let me give you an example. Think about the character Christian Grey in 50 Shades of Grey. Why does Anastasia stay so obsessed with him? Sure, he's rich and attractive, but that's not the full story. What really keeps her coming back is the way he plays with her fear of abandonment. One moment, he's pulling her in, making her feel special. The next, he's distant, leaving her unsure, sure of where she stands. That constant uncertainty, wondering if she's good enough, fearing she might lose him, keeps her emotionally attached. It's not just love or attraction. It's the emotional roller coaster he creates that makes her cling to him even more. Here's the takeaway: if you want to stay in control, make her feel like losing, you would be the worst thing that could happen when she's afraid of that. You've got the power in the relationship, keep her on her toes and she'll keep chasing you. Let me make one thing clear. Number 3, the push-pull technique. I'm not telling you to go out and terrorize anyone. That's not the goal here. What I am saying is this: you need to understand what drives her behavior, and like it or not, fear is a big part of it. If you can subtly tap into her fears, you're the one who controls the flow of the relationship. Now let's tie this back to something that's not often discussed: the Stoic mindset. The Stoics understood that our emotions, especially fear can be either a tool for growth or a trap. They recognize that while fear is a natural reaction, we don't have to let it control us. Instead, we can confront it with wisdom and reason, mastering our own emotions before we try to influence others in relationships. This Stoic approach gives you an edge. While you're aware of her fears, you don't get swept up in the emotional chaos. You stay centered, clear, and strategic, knowing that the emotional triggers you use are tools, not weaknesses. By applying the Stoic principle of freedom from emotional disturbance, you can act with control, not out of fear or desperation. This creates a sense of security and strength that others can't ignore. So while fear might be a powerful motivator, it's your response to it that makes all the difference. Use it wisely and with Stoic control, and you'll keep the power in your hands. Now let's talk about a method that's practically guaranteed to keep her hooked. The push-pull technique. It's simple, but wow, is it effective. Here's how it works. You give her attention, make her feel special, and then you pull back. You suddenly go quiet or distant. That constant back and forth creates emotional tension. And let me tell you, emotional tension is like a drug. It's addictive. She won't even realize it, but she'll keep coming back for more, desperate for your attention. Here's the thing about women: they thrive on emotional ups and downs. Give her too much attention and she gets bored. Give her too little and she feels neglected. But when you master the art of balancing both, when you keep her guessing, you create a psychological loop that she can't break out of. She'll spend all her time wondering what you're thinking, what you're going to do next, and that emotional attention will keep her focused on you. The push-pull technique isn't just a game, it's a strategy. It builds that perfect mix of unpredictability and excitement that keeps her emotionally attached. And the best part: while she's busy analyzing your every move, she'll stop thinking about her own needs and start focusing on you. That's the kind of control that keeps her coming back. Let me break it down with a real-life example. You probably know the Orend of saga of Elena Gomez and Justin Bieber. That relationship was like a roller coaster, always full of twists and turns. Why did it captivate everyone? And more importantly, why did it last so long? Simple: the push-pull dynamic. Justin would go all out, making Selena feel like the center of his universe. Public displays of affection, grand gestures. The works: that's the push out of nowhere. He'd pull back, maybe he'd get involved with someone else, or just leave her hanging in, unsure of where they stood. That number 4: shift her confidence in your favor. Emotional whiplash kept the relationship alive in the media. And more importantly, in Selena's mind, she's even mentioned how hard it was to move on, always wondering, what if that's the power of push-pull it creates? This loop of uncertainty, hope and doubt mixed together. Selena kept trying to figure things out, stuck in a cycle that left her emotionally tied to Justin long after things should have been over. This isn't just drama, it's a master class in emotional entanglement. Now, how can you use this in your own life? It's simpler than you think. Start with the push. Make her feel special. Compliment her. Take her out. Show her she's important to you. Give her your attention and make her feel like she's on top of the world. Then when she's feeling great, pull back, be distant, take longer to reply to her texts, or act busy. This sudden change will throw her off balance and she'll start chasing that feeling again, wondering why you've pulled away. Here's the key: never let her feel too secure. As soon as she feels like she's got you all figured out, she'll lose interest. Women crave excitement and unpredictability, even if it's emotionally confusing. That's why the push-pull technique works. It creates a cycle of emotional highs and lows that keeps her hooked. But here's where the Stoic perspective brings this whole thing into sharper focus. The Stoic understood that emotions, especially ones like uncertainty or fear, can be powerful tools, but only if you remain in control of them in relationships. When you understand the psychology of push-pull, you're not playing mind games out of malice, you're playing with awareness. The Stoic concept of atha, emotional freedom, allows you to remain calm, composed, and unaffected by the emotional chaos you're creating. This gives you a deeper sense of power. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca spoke about mastering your own desires and emotions to maintain inner peace. You're not letting her unpredictability or emotional tension dictate your mood. Instead, you are using the situation to remain steady and wise while she remains caught in the emotional current. This is how the Stoic approach to relationships differs from impulsive behavior. It's not about being cold or detached, but about understanding and controlling your emotional response to navigate the highs and lows effectively. So don't be the guy who's always available, always predictable. Be the one who keeps her guessing, always wondering what's next. That's how you keep her emotionally invested. Think of it like Selena and Justin. The world couldn't look away, and neither could they. You set the rhythm, and she'll follow your lead, while you, like a Stoic, stay calm, collected, and in control of your own emotions. All right, before we jump back in, if you're finding this helpful, hit that like button. It helps YouTube share this with more men who need it, and it keeps the content coming. It's quick, free, and it makes a real difference. Thanks. Let's get back to it. Ready for the next level. Let's talk about how to subtly shift her confidence in your favor. All right? Listen up. You've been doing it all wrong, and that's why you keep striking out. Women aren't looking for someone who's easy to win over. They're looking for men who know how to challenge them, just enough to keep them wanting more. I'm not talking about being rude or cruel, but using smart, subtle moves that make her second-guess herself and keep her craving your approval. Think about it. Women get tons of attention from guys trying to win them over. But what happens when you don't just fall all over her, when you're not constantly chasing her? That's when she starts to question herself, and that's when you've got the power. It's not about being mean. It's about being smart and strategic. Take Chuck Bass from Gossip Girl, for example. He's not the nice guy type. He knows exactly how to mess with Blair Waldorf's emotions, making her feel both wanted and unsure of herself. One moment, he's showering her with compliments, and the next he's throwing in a little criticism. It's not just for TV, it works in real life because it keeps women on their toes. When you subtly make her doubt herself, you get her to depend on you for number 5, the power of mystery validation. She'll start wondering what she can do to make you happy, and that's where you start to control the situation. It's all about creating a balance. She's not insecure, but she's looking to you for approval. Here's how you can do it. Start with something nice, a genuine compliment that makes her feel good. Then right after, follow it up with a small, subtle critique. For example, tell her she looks amazing, but maybe her outfit isn't the best choice for where you're going. This creates that back and forth tension within one conversation. She feels good, but then wonders if she's done something wrong, and that doubt makes her come back for your approval. Another trick: show her interest, then pull away, give her attention, make her feel special, and then suddenly act distant. She'll start wondering what she did wrong, and then she'll try to win your attention back. This creates a situation where she's constantly trying to prove herself to you, which keeps her emotionally invested. Now let's bring in the Stoic perspective. The Stoics, especially figures like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, were all about controlling their emotions and remaining unmoved by the outside world. The power to shift someone's confidence is less about manipulation and more about maintaining your own inner balance. You see, the Stoic idea of a patha. Emotional freedom teaches that true strength comes from remaining unaffected by emotional fluctuations. When you subtly push and pull her, you're actually controlling your own emotional response to the situation rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. Instead of constantly chasing approval or seeking to validate your own worth through her attention, the Stoic approach is about being grounded in your own self-sufficiency. When you give and then pull back, you're creating emotional dynamics, but you're not losing control over yourself. In fact, you're using wisdom to strategically engage her while maintaining your own emotional stability, which in turn draws her toward you, creating a situation where she's constantly seeking your validation while you remain unmoved and steady. This is where the true power lies. By mastering the balance between challenge and approval, you can subtly shift her confidence, making her emotionally dependent on your validation, all while you stay in control, grounded, and emotionally steady, just like a Stoic would. So keep her on her toes, always wondering where she stands with you, but never let it throw you off balance. Your inner calm and self-control is your greatest strength, and that's where the true power dynamic lies. Keep the rhythm steady and she'll follow your lead. Let's talk about the power of mystery. Women are drawn to men who are hard to figure out, who don't put all their cards on the table. Keeping her guessing about your thoughts, feelings, and next move creates a sense of intrigue. When she's unsure, she's hooked, and that curiosity keeps her coming back for more. The goal isn't to crush her spirit, but to create a dynamic where she values your opinion and seeks your validation. When her second guess herself, you position yourself as the one she turns to for reassurance, giving you control in the relationship. Now, here's something that might be tough to hear, but it's true. Emotional availability makes you weak in the eyes of women. Society has fed us the idea that we should be open, share our feelings, and be vulnerable. But in reality, women don't respect men who wear their hearts on their sleeves. They respect men who keep their emotions in check, who don't break down under pressure, and who maintain a sense of mystery. When you're too emotionally available, you become predictable and frankly boring. Women aren't attracted to guys who are always there, always sharing and always open. What they want is the thrill of the unknown, the challenge of trying to figure you out. Think about James Bond. He's the perfect example of a man who keeps his emotions controlled. Bond doesn't sit down and pour his heart out to anyone. He's emotionally tough, and that's what makes him irresistible. Women want to be the one who cracks his tough exterior and sees his vulnerable side, but if he opened up too easily, he'd lose that charm. Here's the truth. Women are emotional beings and they need someone strong to lean on. If you're always sharing your feelings and being vulnerable, you just become another emotional burden for her to carry. Instead, you need to be the rock, the one who can handle her emotions while keeping yours in check. This doesn't mean you should bottle everything up, but you have to be smart about when and how you share your feelings. Give her enough to know you're human, but never give everything away. Keep her guessing, and that emotional tension will keep her engaged. When you do share your emotions, make sure it's in a way that shows strength, not weakness. Share stories about challenges you've overcome. Conclusion words hold immense power, and knowing how to communicate effectively can build stronger connections and foster deeper understanding in any relationship. The three phrases discussed not only appeal to universal psychological needs, such as feeling valued, understood, and appreciated, but also demonstrate the impact of genuine expression, whether you're looking to strengthen bonds with your partner or simply connect better with the women in your life. Remember that authenticity, empathy, and respect are always irresistible. Use these phrases wisely and watch how they transform your interactions.